CatSynth TV.
Hey everybody, CatSynth TV, and today we have an exclusive early look at the new version 1.2 of Pigments, a software synthesizer by Arturia. In contrast to Arturia's V collection, which focuses on modeling classic instruments, Pigments is an entirely original instrument with its own architecture and beautiful user interface. It has two engines, which can be either wavetable, as engine 1 is here, or an analog engine with 3 oscillators. Each engine can be set to wavetable or analog, so it's possible to have 2 wavetables, 2 analogs, etc. There are slots for 2 filters, each of which can contain one of several filter algorithms, such as multimode and comb in this example. Let's hear a bit of the analog engine now. The unique heart of Pigments is its modulation matrix, which is visualized here with these moving elements in different colors representing different classes of modulation. Keyboard and MIDI control, envelopes, LFOs, function generators where you can create your own control functions, a rather powerful feature, various random elements including Turing, white noise, and binary random, combinators, which allow you to combine other modulation sources using a variety of operators. These are quite powerful, and among the new features in 1.2 is a third combinator and a new operator called Remap, which allows you to apply a custom-drawn function to any modulation source, such as LFO. We'll look at those more in detail later in this video. And finally, the macro section, which allows you to control several modulators simultaneously as a named function. The new version adds over 60 presets to the already extensive collection for over 700 total. We're going to look at a couple of them now that represent a cross-section of what this instrument can do. The versatility allows it to do both percussive instruments and classic synthesizer pads. Okay, now we're going to try modifying one of these presets with existing and new features. One of the new exciting features in version 1.2 is the ability to set different microtuning tables. Here we're going to set it to 10 equal temperament. These tunings introduce more melodic and emotional opportunities for your music. There's also the ability to add your own tuning tables, but we'll save that for a future video. Okay, we're going to change the assignment of the mod wheel from its current position. You can click that and turn that off. And we're going to drag phase mod here so that we can control that instead. We can't hear the change that well with the LFO wiggling the filter cutoff, so let's turn that off too. Here, let's delete that now. Ah, there we go. Much better. Okay, let's go to the Combinate section and set up new Combinate 3. First, we select the source, which in this case I think we're going to set to LFO 3. We're going to set the modifier as one of the random sources Turing, and we'll use the difference operator. Finally, we'll assign the combinate to a parameter. In this case, filter to cutoff by dragging its ring into the modulation matrix. Okay, let's look at a different patch, one that uses the analog engine. First, we're going to add a second filter, in this case a comb. Okay, let's set up another combinate. We're going to start again with the LFO, but in this case we're going to use the new Remap operator, which allows us to draw our own function to apply to the input. Okay, we're going to set it up to control the frequency of the comb filter. Okay, let's actually smooth out our remap function a little bit. Let's also slow down the LFO that feeds into the Combinate operator. Another new feature is to draw your own curves for the Aftertouch input. So here we're going to make it a little bit more logarithmic, and we're going to find something for it to control. Let's add a second wavetable engine to this sound. Maybe one of the processed, or maybe the natural ones. Let's try this French horn. Okay, now we're going to use our newly modified Aftertouch to control the sweep position of the wavetable. Let's also have it control the gain of filter 2. Okay, let's switch back to a more conventional pad sound again. Let's change the behavior of the mod wheel. Turn that off and set it to control the sweep of the wavetable. Let's add a little of the timbre control here. Yes, this is really nice. Okay, in this next example, we're going to start with a default template that includes a basic waveforms wavetable. The first thing I'm going to do is set up the mod wheel to sweep through the wavetable positions again. Okay, now we're going to look at one of the new wavetable features, the new Super Unison mode. It places two versions slightly out of phase with one another and is familiar to anyone who's used Supersaws on a mini brute. Okay, let's add the analog engine with all three oscillators for some seriously fat sawtooth action. For this final demo, we're going to switch to one of the 80s inspired bass sounds. Let's go to the sequencer and arpeggio page. We can now set individual clock dividers per track. In this case, you can hear that the octave now changes only every 2 notes. We can apply different clock divisions to different tracks, such as the trigger probability. We can also use clock dividers in the sequencer, which differs from the arpeggiator because it has fixed pitches. Of course, we have just scratched the surface of what we can do with this incredibly versatile instrument. For more information on Arturia Pigments, please visit arturia.com. Thanks for watching. Check out more at www.CatSynth.com. And please subscribe to CatSynth TV.